A new episode of the podcast. Hi, hello. I missed yesterday. I would like to start by apologizing. Today, we are going to get to the story you need to know towards the end of the podcast. Some other stuff, house cleaning. House cleaning? Is that right? Yeah, house cleaning before we get into that. No podcast yesterday. I missed it. I'll tell you. Well, I'll just tell you what happened. Here you go. Here's the story. Here's the story, the kickoff for the pod story. On Wednesday night, I have a couple buddies over every Wednesday night for game night. And Wednesday night I had Mike and Tyler over, and we were playing board games. And we were playing, and we looked at our clock, and it was 8 o'clock. And we thought, okay, this is good. We start at like 6 or 6:30, 6:30. And it was 8 o'clock, and we were like, okay, we're in good shape. This is fine. And then we looked at our clock, and it was 1:10 a.m. 1:10. And panic set in for me because I had not looked at my phone. We had to put our phones away, kind of a disconnect from all of that stuff situation. And I looked and it was 1:10 a.m. I panicked. My alarm goes off at 4:10. And I just thought, this is not good. I've got a whole day with 3 hours of sleep. If I can fall asleep immediately, like right now, if I can fall asleep, I'm going to get 3 hours of sleep. I mean, I didn't go to bed till like 1:30. Alarm still goes off early. I'm working at our building this week. So it's like I have to wake up even a little earlier. I'm not working from home. And so that's what happened. I will give a shout out to the boys for nerding out with me on Wednesday night. We are playing, I mean, again, this is nerdy. We are playing the board game Gloomhaven, my favorite board game ever. And it's cool. And they got down with it. They gave it a shot. I think they liked it. I think we'll keep playing it. It's real, like I said, real nerdy. It's close probably to, it's like Dungeons and Dragons board game. It's an RPG board game. You get little characters, you go through all these dungeons, fight bad guys, try to find treasure and everything to make your character better, and then you just continue on trying to figure out what's going on in this countryside that you are stuck in. It's really fun, but we played till 1:10, and so yesterday was tough because I had to wake up early, I had 3 hours of sleep, I had a splitting headache all day. I did get to do something fun yesterday though, because my wife is in the middle of a busy work week for her, where yesterday she had Zoom calls from about 2:30 in the afternoon until I think she got off the Zoom calls at 8:40, 9 o'clock. It was in the second half towards the end of the third quarter of the Lakers-Nets game. So yeah, about 9 o'clock, she gets done with her last Zoom call. So 7 hours straight of Zoom calls. So that meant that I got to hang out solo dolo dad mode with my daughter. And I got to say, I didn't really had that moment with her since she's kind of got this personality and is getting older. So I had her in the afternoon, get her from her nap, and we're hanging out. We're going to hang out until bedtime. I'm excited about this. Daddy-daughter date day. And we did something we had never done before, which was awesome because here in Spokane, things are kind of opening back up slowly. It's not like everything's just wide open, but things are opening up slowly, including restaurants. So I thought we're going to go out to dinner. We're going daddy-daughter date night to dinner. And it was really interesting watching it because we went to Red Robin. Yum. I knew they had the booster seats. I knew they had, again, we have not gone out at all. So I don't know if everywhere has booster seats. I've never been a dad before in a time where you could go to restaurants. So I knew they had booster seats, and I knew they had a kids menu. So I thought, let's be safe. Let's be safe. South Hill Grill, if you're out there, I wanted to go to you. I wanted to go eat at South Hill Grill. I just did not know if they had booster seats, what that setup was like. And so I panicked, and I went to Red Robin, which I love. I love their menu. I think they're just going to be a home run for what I needed last night. So we go in, and I, again, had not realized my daughter has not been alive any other time than during quarantine. And so going into a restaurant for her was just wild watching her because everything was moving. Everything was shaking. There's people moving around with food. It was crazy. She was totally mesmerized. It was funny because there's music at a restaurant, and sometimes you don't even notice it because we're so used to going to restaurants. There's music in Red Robin the whole time. My daughter thought this was the greatest thing that's ever happened. She danced the entire dinner. We were there for probably 45 minutes. She danced for 45 straight minutes. Loved that she ate her whole chicken breast. She ate steamed broccoli because I'm a good dad, and she ate and she ate some French fries and just crushed it while dancing. Now, I had a moment with the menu because I've been brainwashed by my wife in a good way, in that I sat down and I thought, all right, we're here. We're at Red Robin, one of Dad's favorite places. I'm going to get the Burn and Love burger. And Olivia, you can have whatever you want. And I look back at last night, and this is when I realized I'm such a dad. I got her grilled chicken. Grilled chicken at a restaurant, at a fun restaurant. They had corn dogs, mini corn dogs on the menu. They had these fun like chicken tenders. They're fun chicken tenders, but kid size. They've got the kids hamburger, all these great treats. And I got her grilled chicken. Now, I will tell you the grilled chicken was delicious. I tried a little bit of it. But what happened there? And I vowed as I left, I looked her in the eyes and said, Olivia, today we had a little bit of mom's influence in our date night. Next time, we're doing it. Next time you want a milkshake, let's go. Next time you need a Coke, let's go. Next time you want a triple cheeseburger, let's go. It's daddy-daughter time. But tonight you got a grilled chicken sandwich and steamed broccoli. I love you, Anna. Thank you for brainwashing me to keep our daughter healthy. I probably needed it, but I will let you know in the future, Olivia will be crushing one of those hamburgers. She'll still get steamed broccoli on the side, but she will be crushing a hamburger. That's just how that's going to go. Okay, I want to get to the story you need to know today. There's my catch up on why there was no podcast yesterday, and then leading into my day yesterday, which was really fun, and that just still interesting observation as a parent of watching how the last year has affected kids, because it truly did. And watching kids now, watching the kids my daughter's age, being out in public where there's people and seeing how they are completely in awe of it and have not experienced that, it's weird. It's really strange. Okay, story you need to know is sports related, and it's about my guy, Damian Lillard, Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers are on fire right now. And just me saying that out loud makes me nervous that, I'm realizing that. And if they start to tank, I'm going to be very disappointed. But they are 18-10. They are the fourth best team in the West. I wanted to see what they were overall. They are, I think you go by losses. They would be the best team in the East because the Sixers, they would be the second best team in the East. So they're the fifth best team overall in the league, behind Utah, LA, and Philadelphia. Those teams. Then it's the Blazers. They have won, 6 in a row? Is that right? 6 in a row. They're on fire, and Damian Lillard is leading this team night in, night out. Win after win after win on the shoulders of Damian Lillard. Now, they've got other guys who are helping out a ton, including Gary Trent Jr. has been awesome. Enes Kanter has been fantastic. Enes Kanter has been one of the best centers the Blazers have had in the last many years. You've got good performances from guys like Harry Giles when he's not hurt. You've had good performances from Carmelo, who's good, the real Melo. They're great. Blazers are great. They're super fun to watch right now. But Damian Lillard by far has got this team to 18-10. And they announced the All-Star teams a couple days ago. So you get 5 starters. Each conference has five starters. You get your point guards, or you get your guards, you get your small forward, you get your power forward, your center. And Lillard did not get a vote in there. And I'm struggling with this because he gets snubbed. He gets snubbed every year. Steph Curry was the starter at point guard. I get it. Steph Curry's ridiculous. He's a freak. I know I'm on record as saying I don't like him. I still do not enjoy Steph Curry. I do not like his silly antics, but I'm not blind. I'm not oblivious. I watch enough Golden State Warriors games to know that dude is one of the best who has ever put sneakers on his feet. There's never in all my years of basketball, being around basketball, I've never seen anything like Steph Curry's ability to get any single shot from anywhere to look like it's going in. And the majority of the time it goes in. But even when it shouldn't be close at all, everything he throws towards the rim is close. It's wild. He has great handles, but Steph Curry is not. Steph Curry, he's not maybe he is. I don't think he's a dog like Lillard. There's, you know what? That's a hard sell even for me right now, because he is one. He's been to the top I just see it in Lillard's eyes more, but I think that might come from the fact that Lillard has never won a championship. Well, Steph's got a couple of them. So Steph doesn't need to have the killer instinct Dame has right now because Dame's still searching out championship number one. So you know what? Steph Curry deserves it. Steph Curry should be the starting all-star point guard for the Western Conference until he leaves Golden State. But that means there's another guard spot open. And if I look down the list of teams in the NBA, I'm going to look at their guards and say, are their guards better than Damian Lillard right now? The guy who got in was Luka Doncic, and I love Luka Doncic. So this became a bit of a tizzy and a little bit of a conundrum, two words that I think I've been saying way too much the last couple of days. It's been a little bit of a mind trick for me trying to get around the Luka Doncic thing to justify Lillard because Luka's numbers are crazy. Luka's almost averaging a triple double a game, but his team is 13 and 15. They're not amazing, but Luka himself is amazing. He's, like I said, almost averaging a triple-double a game. Lillard's not close to that. He doesn't have the rebound numbers. He's got great assist numbers, unbelievable scoring numbers. But Luka's scoring more, and Luka's assisting, I think, more. I really should have looked those numbers up before that because Lillard is at 20. He's almost 30. Maybe he's, okay, unprepared podcast. 28.9 for Lillard, or 29.8 points per game for Damian Lillard. Let me see if I can find Luka. Okay, so Lillard is scoring more. Why can't I do numbers? Let me get this right. I have been struggling since I was going to try to make a Steph Curry is not a killer instinct guy. When I thought about it for more than 2 seconds after I started saying that, I realized, no, he is. Steph Curry's a champion. He doesn't need the killer instinct Lillard has right now because it's kind of built into him. Okay, Lillard, 29.8 points per game. Luka, 29.1 points per game. Lillard is scoring more, but Luka's assisting more, Luka's rebounding more. The overall stats for Luka are better. But I'm telling you, eye test. And I've watched Mavs games and I've watched Blazers games. Okay? And I'm looking at other guards in the league that are not named Steph Curry. Donovan Mitchell on the best team in the West. The best team in the league is really good. But that team wins a lot of games as a team, which is why they're 29-5. They're ridiculous. And Donovan Mitchell gets help from Rudy Gobert, and they just, Joe Ingles, they just have a team of guys who play very well together, and that's why they're where they're at. As great as Donovan Mitchell is, he's not as good as Lillard. And again, we're doing who's absolutely freakishly great. Okay, this isn't like Lillard is the only good guard, Steph's the only good guard, the rest are trash. Donovan Mitchell is unbelievably good. Lillard's just better. There's only one extra guard spot available. The Lakers don't have a guard that's better than Lillard. The Clippers have Paul George, who's not as good as Lillard, even though the Clippers are very good. Devin Booker, he can fill it. You watch a Suns game, you watch a Blazers game, you can tell immediately Lillard is better. Spurs, their best guard is DeMar DeRozan. He's been playing good on and off through the season, but not consistently great. We already talked about Golden State. As I run down the standings here, Golden State has the best guard in the West with Steph Curry. Denver has Jamal Murray, who has been so streaky this year. Doesn't deserve it. Memphis' best guard is Ja Morant. He's no Lillard. Ja Morant's a freak. Ja Morant had one of the best dunks of the year this week, in case you missed it. Just type in Ja Morant dunk and then look for a recent post because it's going to be this week. His dunk made me stand up. New Orleans doesn't have a guard nearly as good as Lillard. And if you come in here ever and tell me either the Ball brothers is as good as Lillard, never listen again. Thank you for that. De'Aaron Fox is not as good. Houston doesn't have a guard as good. Oklahoma City has Shea. He's not as good. And Minnesota is 7-22. So when you're 7-22, it's hard to convince me you need to have a person playing as a starter in the All-Star game. The point is, if you are watching basketball, which I am doing, you have got two guys with great stats in Luka Doncic and Damian Lillard. And Luka is fun to watch, and Luka seems like a great human, and he's a great representation for your league. Luka got this spot because of the foreign vote, because the fans vote in all-stars. The fans are tiebreakers. The fans push close races in all-star voting. And Luka's foreign, and Luka has the Europe vote, and I get it. And Luka's rad. I love him. But if you're watching two games And this is where I was bummed for Lillard. If you're watching a Blazers game, if you're watching a Mavs game, if you're watching the Blazers beat the Mavs earlier, was it this week or last week? Damian Lillard is a better basketball player. Damian Lillard is the better player on the court. In a Mavs-Blazers game, you will leave thinking Luka Doncic is awesome. Luka Doncic is awesome. You will leave that game thinking Damian Lillard is better by watching the game. Because when it comes down to it, into game stuff, Lillard is going to carry you. Lillard's going to get buckets in the last couple of minutes that solidify wins. Lillard's going to make big shots by the basket. He's going to make big shots from 35 feet out. My knock on Lillard right now, he started to step away from it a bit, and now he's all the way back in. I'm getting sick and tired of him going to the free throw line on his pump fakes off of screens and having guys run into him or reach around a screen, and he gets their hand tied up on him, and he launches a three like he was going to shoot that. That's where it gets real annoying. Now, it's hard because he makes those threes a lot. So if he doesn't get the call, they go in, and you're like, oh, that's a great shot. So he kind of earns it there. He kind of earns the respect for getting those calls because of his ability to make these difficult 3-point shots when he's trying to draw a foul, and he doesn't get the foul called, and they still go in, and you're like, oh, that maybe is a normal Dame shot. So he got snubbed. I was super bummed about it. Pacific Northwest stuff, snubbed up here in the West. It's not an East Coast team. I know Dallas isn't an East Coast team either. It's the Western Conference, but Dallas is going to be that bigger city, that bigger media coverage. So you always are going to get the spin cycle, the spin zone, that the bigger team, the bigger market is going to get the All-Star. How can the NBA market? But I understand the Luka thing. I'm just bummed that Lillard didn't get that starting spot. He deserves it. I mean, again, your team is 8 games over 500, award winning, because that's what the NBA seems to do when it's all said and done at the end of the season with their MVP vote. The amount of times that MVP vote I thought should have gone to a guy on a bad team because there's guys on bad teams who are great players, and the NBA goes, no, we're giving it to Giannis because Giannis is on the winningest team. LeBron didn't win as many games this year, even though LeBron's the best basketball player in the league. No. Oh, James Harden, the Houston Rockets weren't that great last year. They weren't amazing, but Giannis was. The Bucks were great in the regular season, so Giannis gets the award, and it's like, yeah, but James Harden exists. What are you doing? Okay, that's it. I thought today was going to be a 10-minute pod at 17 because I ranted and raved aimlessly about the NBA for a while. Thank you, everyone who's listening. Thank you, everyone who interacted this week. Mitch sent me the tweet yesterday about missing the show. Sorry, Mitch. We're back at it, and I got to go because I got to go work.